Hello, everyone, and welcome back to American Ultras Talk. The USA U20s just beat Cuba 4-0 in their second group stage match of the CONCACAF U20 Championship, qualifying for the quarterfinals of the tournament with a game to spare. So, I'm here today to break down the match and analyze it, give my thoughts on another very solid performance from our U20s. So, without further ado, let's just jump straight into it with the initial starting lineup. Now, I did say in the preview video for this game that there would be a lot of rotation and expect that to be the same throughout the entire tournament because, like I've been saying, the games are heavily congested. They're very close to one another in terms of date. So there's going to be a lot of rotation. Obviously, everyone in the squad needs to be involved. And my prediction came true in this game. Pretty unsurprisingly, the starting lineup was the exact same as my predicted one with one change. It was Julian Eistern in goal, Luca Bombino at left back, retaining his place. Nolan Norris at left center back, the captain, retaining his place. Him and Bombino were the only two to keep their place from the starting lineup in the 9-0 win over Jamaica. Stuart Hawkins partnered Nolan Norris as the right center back. Ethan Collar was the right back. Sergio Orahel, Taha Habrun, and Nico Shikiris were in the midfield. Ninfa Berchimas and Xavier Goso on the wings. And Kiro Figueroa, the Liverpool striker, coming in for his first action of the tournament, up top. Pretty solid lineup. Like I said, it was exactly what I predicted with one exception. I thought that Cobb would start over Bombino, but it's what we were to be determined, basically. It was going to be rotated always. We started mainly the first choice boys. Truthfully, I'm not really sure who is preferred in terms of the lineup here. We're going to have to see that probably in the quarterfinal, but it looks like the backups for the most part were played against Jamaica. The starters for the most part were played today against Cuba. Expect more rotation in the final group stage match against Costa Rica. Obviously, I'll have a preview video for that one in, I think, tomorrow, actually, because the game is in a couple of days. But expect more rotation for that, and then expect the starters to come back in for the crucial quarterfinal, which, as a reminder, if we win the quarterfinal, regardless of how well we do in the rest of the tournament, we do qualify for the U20 World Cup in 2025. So it's a perfect chance for our guys to get out there on the world stage next year. But let's just jump straight into the match and start with the first half. I thought, especially considering how well we started against Jamaica, getting 2 goals in the first 2 minutes, it was a bit of a slow start, but we got on the score sheet relatively quickly. Nico Shikiris playing in an excellent ball off the set piece, puts it in the perfect area. Ethan Kohler maybe gets a touch on it, maybe he doesn't. The goal was officially credited to Ethan Kohler, but I did see him in the celebrations pointing specifically to Shakiris, trying to indicate to the cameras that it was his goal. So at the end of the day, it doesn't really matter who gets the goal. Just a good play overall, a good set piece routine for the USA U20s to put us up 1-0. And it didn't stop there. Just about 10 minutes later, Xavier Goso, who I will admit did not have the strongest of games, got on the score sheet as well. Taha Habrun with an excellent little feint to get rid of 2 defenders, played a great through ball to Xavier Goso, who finished emphatically past the keeper, 2-0 to the US, and that's how it stayed. The only other really notable moment, there were a couple of chances either ways, of course, mainly for the US, but the other notable moment was in the 38th minute when Ethan Kohler, the goal scorer for the first goal, had to come off for Aiden Harangi because one of the Cuban players had ripped out one of his contacts from his left eye, which is a brutal way to have your game end. And I imagine he was very frustrated, but yeah, he got in a scuffle with a Cuban player trying to fight for the ball in a 50-50 duel, and somehow his contact was grabbed by the Cuban defender, and he had to exit the game, unfortunately. Although I will say this is probably a blessing in disguise for him because it means he's probably going to start the next game against Costa Rica, who are the toughest team in this group. It's the toughest challenge we will have had thus far in the tournament. So a nice opportunity, at least as a silver lining for Ethan Kohler, although I'm sure he was absolutely devastated to have to leave this game early. In the first half, Taha Habrun was the standout. I thought Ninfasha Berchimas was pretty solid as well. He seemed to be getting double-teamed every time he got the ball, which for the youngest player in our team at 08 playing up a cycle is incredible, showing the amount of respect that Cuba has for him. I think it just speaks to his ability and potential. Xavier Goso was a little bit poor. Like I said, he did get a very nice goal, but outside of that, he seemed to lose the ball a lot. His dribbling was subpar, but again, he's also playing up a cycle. He has so much time to learn from this. Has had a couple encouraging moments both in this game and against Jamaica. There's no need to worry for now, but I will say not the best performances, as well as the center back duo of Nolan Norris and Stuart Hawkins was a little bit shaky, probably because they haven't played together as a center back duo yet. It's to be expected, some growing pains, but it has to be said, very shaky. Stuart Hawkins did pick up a yellow card and gave Cuba a very dangerous chance on a free kick that luckily for us was not capitalized on. But overall, a very solid first half. Nothing to write home about, but a comprehensive, dominant display. And it was pretty much the same in the second half. At halftime, we made 2 changes. Cruz Medina coming on for Nico Shakiris, give him a little bit of a rest, probably ahead of the Costa Rica match. And Noah Cobb came in for Nolan Norris because Norris had not sat on the bench yet. He had played the full 90 in the first game, played the full first half in this game. Give him a little bit of a break since he is the captain of the team. He's going to be crucial. Hasn't played in his natural left-back position yet this tournament. Expect that to be coming in the later rounds. And finally, we got to see Noah Cobb and Stuart Hawkins, the only two true center backs on this roster, partner each other, which I thought was nice to see. They looked like a decent little partnership there. No mistakes, just looked solid throughout the half. But this half in particular, the whole game really, but in the second half, it was the Taha Brun show. He got that assist, very nice one in the first half, but he just showed every aspect of his game to complete perfection in the second half. Getting the goal, the third one, it was a nice free kick from Sergio Orahel, deflected off the Cuban wall, fell directly to Taha Brun. A fortunate fall, a fortunate little bounce for the U.S., but Habrun made no mistake about it. 3-0 to the U.S. inside 60 minutes, and it was well-deserved. Taha, every single time he got the ball, was making defenders miss with little jukes and feints. His eye for a pass was so good. Every single time playing the right through ball with the perfect weight. And really, I mean, just a sublime performance. There was even one specific opportunity where the Cuban player, I don't remember who it was, had the ball and he made the tackle not once but twice on the same player and then went up the other way, played the right through ball. I'm running out of words to describe him. As I said on Twitter, if you guys follow us over there, make sure to do that if you're not. But excellent performance, 10 out of 10, man of the match easily from Taha Brun. I can't stop singing his praises. I think he's one of the most encouraging players to watch for us at this tournament. And he proved that again with our 4th goal in stoppage time. Just like our last goal against Jamaica, we get it in stoppage time. And it's the substitute, our final sub, Marco Zambrano. He came on for Raul Figueroa in the 74th minute. Our 4th sub was David Vasquez for Xavier Goso, the goal scorer in the 66th. But Taha Brun playing in another pinpoint cross for Zambrano, easy tap in past the keeper for the striker from Vitória de Guimarães, and just a solid performance all around. A nice 4th goal to cap off Brun's excellent 1 goal, 2 assist performance. Like I've been saying, he was so good in every aspect of the game. Can't wait to see how he balls out against tougher teams later in the tournament. And overall, just a very solid performance from the U.S. I think standouts besides Habrun, I'd have to go Nico Shakiris. I thought it was pretty solid for the most part when he was in. Did get pulled relatively early, only playing the first half, but in the first 45 minutes, he was very good, including the set-piece delivery for the first goal. I thought that Julian Eystone was only called into action once, but it was a very, very nice save to deny Cuba from outside the box, showing off his full 6'6", 6'7" frame. He looks like a promising goalkeeper for the future. I'm looking forward to see what he can do for Brentford's academy this coming season. And then off the bench, Cruz Medina was very up and down. I think he's the last player I want to specifically highlight for this game just because he was so bipolar in his performance. Got into so many great opportunities, but the final end product just needs to be a little bit better. He was taking too many shots, trying to do it all himself, and every time it went over when there was a pass on most of the time. But as a number 10, he was getting into the right opportunities, and that's all you can really look for at this level. So encouraging performance from him, just needs to work on the final product. That's all for really the individual standouts that I wanted to highlight. The rest of the team played pretty solid all around. There wasn't anyone who you can pinpoint to say they had a horrible performance. Very encouraging going into the last game against Costa Rica, and that's about where we leave it. I will have, like I said earlier in the video, a preview for the final group game against Costa Rica coming out tomorrow, as well as, of course, some other content. Later today, we're going to have a preview for the USA U23's first game at the Olympics against France. So be on the lookout for that. Lots of content coming up for the remainder of this summer for the U20s, for the U23s, and all kinds of other stuff as well. So stay tuned for that. Please like, share, and subscribe if you enjoy the content. Let me know what you thought of this game. Any standouts besides Taha Abrun for you? Who do you want to see potentially start in the final group game? Any other players you're particularly looking forward to getting a closer look at? And that's going to be all. Have a nice day, and we'll see you next time.